Welcome to Job Search Stories. I'm Jen, a career coach and your new go-to gal for all things career advice.
And I'm Gina, and today we're going to just talk about how we can help you navigate this crazy world of job searching and get you to your next job.
Yeah, we're going to be breaking down the recruiter interview and how to ace it.
Do you feel like you can do anything to make the recruiter's job a little easier? I know you mentioned hey, if you didn't completely answer a question, maybe drop in some stuff in a follow-up, but what can you do to kind of seem like you're a good partner in this little relationship?
Yeah. So connecting to relevancy and connecting your experience to the job, making that tie back is going to help them share that information with the hiring manager so that if there's any question about your experience and whether or not you're qualified, if you've already connected the dots, they're able to pass that message along and help make that connection for the hiring manager as well.
Right. I feel for me, I've always kind of felt dang, I don't want to do all this with a recruiter because they're not the person I'm going to be working with. They're not my hiring manager. Why do you have to answer? Tell me about yourself. Why do you have to do all that?
You absolutely have to do that. I mean, if you think about it, if you've been preparing for this interview anyway, you already know how the job is connected.
Yeah.
Right? You already know how your experience is relevant to this role. So you're really just communicating that to them.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel there's probably certain things, like you're saying, relevancy that the recruiter is looking for in any of your answers. But can you give me some other things that a recruiter is looking for when they're chatting with you?
Yeah. So when they're looking to qualify, they might be looking to years of experience. If they're looking, let's say a particular question that they might ask would be, you just said it, tell me about yourself. When you're thinking about what is the best way to answer this question, there's one format that I always lean towards, which is going to be the present, past, future format. So that is where you're going to start with a present statement. What are you doing right now?
Okay.
What have you done in the past? Tell me about the years of relevant experience that you have. Maybe it's your education. Maybe it's the past couple of roles. Maybe it's a project that you did that was super relevant and you want to call back to. But what's really valuable is going to be the future statement.
Yeah.
So this is where you're able to kind of tie it all together and really focus on how this role is relevant in your career journey.
Yeah.
And more specifically, how you see yourself really thriving at this company because of something you've learned about them.
Yeah. And I feel even you're saying the length of the answer and that format. It's really interesting because it's some people, maybe they can't do it over Zoom and they have to do it in person. How do you kind of keep those nuggets of information in your head when you're sitting in front of someone answering that? Tell me about yourself.
Starting with where you are. It's your present statement.
Present.
Past statement.
Past.
What's your relevant experience, the experience you want to highlight?
Yep.
Future. What are you looking for next in your career? So your present statement. It's okay to mention your current role, right?
So I would be I'm an expert of job seekers here at Indeed, and I work as a marketing manager.
Yeah. You create video content for job seekers.
For job seekers.
And that's what makes you an expert.
And I don't even have to say expert because I can just say what you just said.
You can qualify your expertise off of the size of the channel, average viewers, or what are the key benchmarks that would be really important, that would really signal to this person, oh, yeah, they're doing a good job.
Yeah.
So that kind of information would be really helpful.
Right.
Thinking about your past, you could talk about your education. You could talk about previous places that you've worked.
Yeah.
Different skills. You could talk about your experience growing a channel.
Right.
And the type of successes that you've seen there.
Right.
You want to continue to grow.
My value.
You want to continue to grow your expertise and continue to help job seekers because, job searching is hard and you want to be there for them.
Well, I feel a good question to ask is what if I don't want to help job seekers anymore? What if I want to get into a new industry?
If that's the industry that you're applying for, then you would talk about the career transition.
Yeah.
And you would say, you know what, I've really valued my time being able to work and help job seekers.
Yeah.
And I learned a lot. And I'm really looking to apply some of those learnings here by doing what for you?
Now let's get into the nitty gritty of you got past that phone screener.
Yeah, congratulations. You got past the phone screen.
I got past the phone screener.
Right. Now you're on to the hiring manager.
I'm moving on, yeah.
Right. So now you're going to be asked kind of a range of behavioral-based interview questions.
Okay.
And some more situational or experience-based, right?
Okay.
So this is where you might hear questions that start with, tell me about a time when, give me an example of.
Yeah.
And usually when you hear those, that's a signal that it's a behavioral-based question, or it's a question that can be answered using that STAR method. So situation, task, action, and result. So when you think about how you're answering these questions for a hiring manager, you're wanting to paint a story for them. You're not just telling them what you did, you're telling them how you did it, and you should be ending it with a positive impact. And sometimes it's not always a success, right? People don't always succeed at everything that they do, especially when you take into consideration a question about conflict. So it's not necessarily about being right. It's about learning and growth. So as long as you're ending that question or, any of your questions with a result, it's not always quantifiable, right? But that's how you know you've kind of told a good, succinct story.
If you found this advice helpful, please make sure to subscribe, rate the podcast, and leave us a review wherever you listen to your podcast. And we'll see you next time.
Bye.